Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm in that today. God, that thing zooms in a lot on my big head. You can't even get my whole beard in there. We still down here with the camera. It's still up there. God, that really got me thinking about something, man. I pee down here a lot, so yeah, there's probably gonna be pictures of my schlong wind up on the internet, I guess. It's kind of weird. Yep, there's gonna be pictures of my dang-a-lang all up on the internet because they probably filmed me peeing behind my Jeep. But hey, it is what it is, guys. Yeah. Oh well, guys, let's roll into the day's video. Boo, 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 boo. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that pop always makes it better. That's how you know nobody spit in it. Oh wow. Yeah, I've been like down here looking in the other trees for more cameras. It's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah. Today we're going to talk about questions that I can't answer. Really, nobody can. Because I get questions myself, and then I get people that I see in these Facebook groups, which are terrible, by the way. I mean, God, they're just so terrible. It don't matter like what you ask, and like especially base heads on a budget, they will rip you apart with like misinformation. Like for instance, last night I was arguing with a guy over CCA versus OFC. Because I did like testing with it. I went and burnt my vehicle before I pulled my CCA out, added OFC, and did the exact same number. And then he said my system was tapped out. I got 2.5 dB louder. Like when I had more power, but not off the wire. But anyway, guys, I see this question a lot, and I've had people send me messages, and they're like, can you send me a picture of your amp settings? Yeah, I had to scratch my head on that one. Amp settings? Really? You want a picture of my amp settings? Amp settings? I don't even know how to address that. God. And then I saw a guy last night in the group. He wanted to know where people set their highs amps at. We can't answer this. I mean, man, all you can get is a picture of like a pointometer, it's set somewhere. But in reality, like I say on my sub amp, which I have 4, I have them strapped, so I got to set 2 gains. And this is where it really gets tricky, because if I go on my head unit and turn subwoofer level up 1 or down 1, I need to readjust the amp. Just because it's going to change my gain setting point, because my RCA voltage will increase or decrease. And I mean, that's the reality of it. So, even if we had the exact same system, things would get set different, because even though I have like 2 pairs of strapped amps, I guarantee one pair of those amps is putting out a couple of volts more than the other pair. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And then, where do you set your highs amps? Well, let's say I know this one because I've dealt with this. Now, when I ran Def Bonch Arnold mids, my 6.5s and my 8s, they all had a frequency range starting at like the 120 hertz range, which that's pretty damn high for a mid. But that's where they started at. That's where they wanted to be crossed over on the low end. Now my DS18 Pro Audio Neos, they have low end of 60 hertz. So let's say I wasn't running a DSP, I wasn't using the filter in my head unit, and I was going to use the crossover on the amplifier. Well, it's going to be drastically different between those two pairs of mids. So one's like 110, one is 60. That leaves a lot on the table, guys. So how am I supposed to answer these questions? You know, there's no way you can just take a picture of where your settings are at or on your amp, send it to a homeboy, and him be right. I mean, in our reality, you know, back in the day, man, we used to adjust everything by ear. We had no idea if we were clipping or not. Hell, I think in the 90s, everybody was clipping. Which we just didn't have enough power to get amp stinky. You know, I mean, some of us probably did, but God, when I was young, the amp everybody wanted was the Orion Beast, which is, you know, 2 by 250 watts. It was supposed to do 1,000, but in recent amp dyno videos, I don't think any of them ever reached that high. But, yeah, I mean, even if you were running back in the day, like 4 of them cheap 15s from back in the day, like the original Punch or the old Terminators from MTX, you know, I don't really think that you were really gonna get them too smelly. And hell, back then we never knew if we were smelly or not. We all ran sealed boxes. But in modern day, with amplifiers putting out so much power, yeah, I guess it's good to determine where you're clipping at. And honestly, this day and age, I mean, any decent amplifier you buy, it's going to have a clip light on it. Even my highs amps have clip lights on them, if you believe that one. But, you know, in this day and age, like I said, we had clip lights, which are a tremendous help for everything. And, you know, you can get a DD one. Yeah, it's a little expensive, but you're going to use it a lot. And like me, you know, I bought mine and I loaned it out. I got it back, and like a day later, I loaned it out. Then I got it back last weekend. And hell, actually, where I got it back from, I used it there and left it there because my buddy Billy, he still needs it. Okay, his DC amps don't have a clip light. Odd. I mean, DC makes great stuff, but I don't know why they ain't just broke out a clip light yet. But anyway, there's no way to help people when they ask questions like this. Man, your best bet's to do your research. And my inbox on a lot of different platforms just blows up with questions that I can't answer. It's like, where do you set this? What the hell are you trying to set it for, bro? I don't know what you're trying to set it for. Like, crossover points are so easy to figure out. If you bought the speakers new, look at the manual that come with them. That manual will always tell you where your mids start playing at, you know, where they like to be crossed over. You know, it'll say frequency response from this number to this number. So the first number is where you want to set the crossover at to filter out everything below that number, like your high pass crossover. And even tweeters, even like tweets have a crossover point starting. You know, usually it's around like 1.5K to 2K to 2.5. I've seen it a lot of different places. You know, horns, which, believe it or not, my most popular video on YouTube is talking about horns. But horns play a vital part of your system, and I just think it sounds so much better having them. But anyway, you know, most horns start crossing over like 600, 800 hertz. So your manual will tell you where you need to set your high pass crossover. If you're running mids and highs together off of one channel of an amp, then obviously you need to use the little caps that came in the box with them tweeters, because you need to filter out that tweeter frequency because you got it tied into the mid. But guys, there's some questions we just can't answer, me or other people, because, you know, one, there's not enough information given, and I can't tell you where to set your amp at. You know, there's so many factors in there, man. Like, what is your head unit? Even if you told me all the settings on your head unit, I couldn't help you. That's just the fact of it, because like I said, I have 2 pairs of strapped amps, And one of those pairs is going to put out a few more votes than the other pair. That's just the way it happens, you know. So you either A, need to use your clip light on your amplifiers if you have it, or you need to buy a DD1 or a DD1 Plus. A lot of people love Steve Meade. A lot of people don't like Steve Meade. A lot of people say he's arrogant or whatever. The fact is, the dude makes some good, helpful tools. And I've been buying, you know, getting more and more of his tools, and they have been really useful. I like them. They work great. They simplify things. And, you know, even me not being a professional installer, not doing a lot of installs, I had the tools. I loan the tools out a lot, you know, but that is what it is. Like, I did buy an oscilloscope. My little buddy Joe has had that thing since a week after I bought it. He borrowed it to set his mid and highs amps, and here we are almost 2 years later, he still got it. I mean, theoretically, I still own it, but he's got it. But it is what it is, guys. You know, I bought the DD1 because it definitely simplifies things. It works great. And for you guys wondering where to set things, all I can tell you, man, is read your manual that come with your speakers, subwoofers, learn about clipping, you know, research more about clipping, what causes it, because everything can clip. Your head unit can clip. Your DSP can clip. You can get clipping through a crossover. Your amplifiers can clip. And if you start clipping at the signal source, which is your head unit, it's pretty much just going to keep sending clipping back, I think. Somebody did a video on that, and it wasn't showing a whole lot of clipping going through the system, but I would imagine it would. But your best bet's just set everything clean. It's like, you know, my Kenwood head unit, it only goes to volume 35. And the thing, like, after you get past, like, volume 28, man, it just, like, starts jumping up dramatically in voltage output. Like, each click's just more and more voltage. But, yeah, I go to volume 32. It's clean to volume 34. But I like to set it at volume 32 just because 28, 29 sounds like a great demo number. I don't know why. It's just habit. That's just what I picked. I know it's 100% clean at volume 32. You know, I kind of leave my subwoofer level set pretty well flat, because I think it goes like, I can't, it's like minus 10 to plus 10 or something. I don't know. I kind of leave it set flat. Bass, I leave flat. Treble, I leave flat. Mid, I leave flat. I adjust all that stuff out through the DSP, but I know everything's clean starting at the source, you know. Then when I get to the back, to the subwoofer, you know, amplifiers, I know everything's clean back there, so I just set the amplifiers. But guys, quit making posts asking, like, where amp settings are. And for the love of God, quit inboxing me asking me what'll fit in this truck. I don't own one. I don't know, guys. I get that question so much. Like, I have, you know, a 2007 Land Rover. What'll fit under the seat? I've never been in one, dude. Get in there with a tape measure and, you know, start measuring out and figure out how much airspace you have net and what you can put in it. But I get these questions so much, and I want to help people, but I don't know. You know, it'd be like messaging me about what'll fit in a Mercedes G-Wagon. I would assume 415s, but do I look like somebody that has a Mercedes G-Wagon? One, I think they're ugly as hell, and I love square boxy vehicles, but that thing's just ugly as hell. Would I have one? Probably, but would I pick a Hummer over it all day long? I just don't like Mercedes or BMW. It's just not my thing, dude. I don't try to, like, go out here and flaunt like I have money. If I did, I'd wear Jordans every day. And true story, I tattoo a lot of millionaires down here in Myrtle Beach, and not one of them wears Jordans. They all tell me that's broke people's shoes, because you're trying to look like you got money. But New Balance for the win, I guess. I don't know. They all wear New Balance. They must be comfortable as hell. I'd trade my Vans in for a pair of New Balance. Them dad shoes. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't own a pickup. You know, I had a pickup before. I've had a few of them. And during that time of my life, I didn't have a system, so I wasn't under the back seat measuring, trying to fit in there. My best bet to you guys having pickups, wondering what to put under the seat, get a hold of Bobby Gately. Because that dude makes under seat boxes for everything. Everything, guys. If you don't have one, he'll probably make it for you. But, man, that's all I got, you know. Is just, I do get a lot of questions and stuff to shit that I just can't answer. But anyway, this video is kind of like long, drawn out, and boring already. And I parked purposely in front of the camera today to see what's up. But I just want them to see me down here. Fascinated with that camera. I think about climbing that tree and taking it with me, honestly. I'll take the camera with me. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a great day, man. Peace out. And as always, guys, peace on.